Guys, DBG here, and in this video we are going to be doing another one of the bracket videos, and this is going to be the bracket of the best power forwards in NBA 2K20 MyTeam. So as always, we split them into 4 categories. Top right hand corner is going to be the budget players, bottom right is going to be the kind of guys that are more so shooters than anything else. Then we have got the out and out bigs, the guys that are realistically going to be playing at center more often than not. And then we've got the kind of slashers slash defenders up here in the corner. There definitely is some overlap between tiers, and one thing I'm going to say is that a player can be in one of the others and also be in the budget one. So for example, Ben Simmons, because he literally is, most people got him for free because of the locker code. For that reason, he is in the budget one as well. I'm going to keep him in budget for this month because I assume everyone has Ben Simmons, but as months go on, when new players come in, obviously he's going to be taken out of it. But anyway, we are going to start off with the top left hand corner, which is the slashers category. So this category is Giannis, Josh Smith, Derrick Jones Jr., Pascal Siakam, Aaron Gordon, Paul Millsap, Ben Simmons, and Miles Bridges. So the first matchup is between Giannis and Josh Smith. So both of these guys are really good going to the basket. Both of them can handle the ball well enough. Both of them are really good defenders. Both of them have decent enough height and can play the small forward position. But straight up, Giannis is better at pretty much everything. Maybe Josh Smith's a better shooter, but other than that, Giannis is one of the glitchiest cards in the game. Can dunk on everybody, got Hall of Fame quick for his step. Not the most overpowered hop step in the game. So Giannis goes through as the kind of comfortable winner right here against Josh Smith. Then we've got a tough matchup right here. Derrick Jones Jr. versus Pascal Siakam. So if you look kind of on a face level, if you're looking stats wise, you think Derrick Jones Jr. has it comfortably. Because Derrick Jones Jr., I think he's got Hall of Fame quick for his step. He's also a really good dunker. Siakam on offense really is just a jump shot. And on defense, Derrick Jones Jr. has got pretty good stats. However, Derrick Jones Jr. is 6'6". You cannot play him at the power forward position. Whereas Siakam is 6'9", so he's got a little bit more length. And shooting wise, even though Jones Jr. has range extender, I think in purely catch and shoot situations, I would give the edge to Siakam. If I was to run these guys at power forward, I would give Derrick Jones Jr. the edge. Or say running him a small forward, running him a power forward, I think it would go to Siakam. So this is a really close one because again, it all depends on what you need for your team. I think the overall better card is Derrick Jones Jr. But if I was to pick someone to play at the power forward position, I would pick Siakam, so he's going through. And it doesn't really matter too much because it's a battle of who loses Giannis. Next, we've got Aaron Gordon versus Paul Millsap. So when Paul Millsap came out, he was pretty much a perfect card. Like, he didn't have range extender, but he could do everything else. He could play defense, he could shoot, he could handle, he could dunk, he could go to the basket. Like, really, really good card and could play in the post. Aaron Gordon is basically Millsap, except he's got range extender and Hall of Fame quick first step, and is just better at everything. Aaron Gordon is just a Millsap that is literally better at pretty much everything. So that's why he's going in there. Then we've got Ben Simmons versus Miles Bridges. And this is a tough matchup here. You've got basically 2 absolutely elite players. You've got one that's 4 inches taller and definitely better to play at the power forward position than Simmons. But you've got Bridges who shoots the ball way, way better. And Simmons has one major weakness that he can't shoot. Like, yeah, sure, there are people that will occasionally hit shots with him. But for that reason, in a really tight one, you've got 2 incredible players right here. I'm going to give the edge to Bridges because I know he can't really play the power forward position, but he has no weakness. Like, height is his only weakness, and to be fair, that can be nullified by putting him at small forward. He's got okay height for a small forward. He's an elite defender, an elite shooter, really good release, unreal going to the basket. And man, he is straight up one of the better cards that I've used in the game this year, if not one of the best. And we've got Giannis and Pascal Siakam. So, Giannis is basically Siakam times 10. Like, you could definitely there's not one thing that Siakam does that you can argue is better than Giannis, and I think even jump shot wise, I would take Giannis over Siakam. Like, at least Derrick Jones Jr. would have range extender over him, who'd probably give Giannis a little more of a conversation. But like, Giannis and Siakam are 2 kind of similar-ish cards. It will be interesting to see when Siakam gets better cards throughout the year how good those cards will be. But for now anyway, Siakam wins 1 round, but definitely not even close to Giannis. And this battle right here is Miles Bridges versus 3 inches taller Miles Bridges. So Aaron Gordon's very, very similar to Bridges, except he's 3 inches taller. So obviously he's going through. I think release-wise, I give Bridges a little bit of an edge, but just purely because he's better defender. Like, Gordon has got Hall of Fame clamps, as well as the fact that Gordon has got a bit of a height advantage. I'm going to give him the nod. And then it's Giannis versus Aaron Gordon in the final. And this is not a straightforward one, because I use both of these as my power forwards. Like, these are my 2 power forwards, and this is a really, really tough matchup because Giannis doesn't have range extender and Gordon does. I get it. Giannis got the cheesy hop step, which Gordon doesn't necessarily have. I mean, both of these guys have got decent height. Both of these guys have got quick first step, Hall of Fame. Both of them are lockdown defenders. But it's like, I think it's kind of evens out. Gordon having range extender and being the better shooter, that kind of evens out the hop step. But there is one difference, which is why I'm going to put Giannis through in a really close battle. And I know anyone saying that this isn't close, trust me, it is between these 2 guys. The reason why Giannis is going through is because Giannis's off-ball defense and his ability to get steals is way, way better than Aaron Gordon's. Other than that, there's a pretty close one. And there are definitely people that will say that Aaron Gordon is better than Giannis, and I'm not going to disagree with you. Although most will probably agree with me putting through Giannis. Then we've got probably the weakest of all the categories. We've got the big men. And this one is very, because the bracket's random, this is very like top heavy, as in this side of the bracket's a lot better than this side of the bracket. But the first matchup is Zach Randolph versus Amare Stoudemire. Amare was good when he first came out. Not gonna lie, a little bit outdated right now, but still a somewhat decent card. I wouldn't use him. Like, I have him. I wouldn't use him. I'd still, like, there's some rubies that I'll use over him, but not the worst card in the world. Zebo. Like, Zebo's got good stats. He's just kind of slow and doesn't really play much defense. I'm gonna give the nod because he's 2 inches taller to Amare Stoudemire, and that's really it. I think this is a fairly even matchup. I like both of the cards. I think both of the cards are good, but they're both kind of outclassed at this stage. So I'm going to just put your Amare. Then you've got Opal, Serge Ibaka versus Sean Kemp. Man, I don't like either of these cards. I'm going to straight up say that I don't like either of these cards. Ibaka is not a great shooter. A decent shot blocker. Like, you should not play Ibaka power forward. Play him at center if you're going to use him. Sean Kemp can hit threes from the corner. But other than that, not really up to much. He's like a worse Amare Stoudemire. So I'm going to give the nod to Ibaka because Ibaka's a solid defender, I guess. But like, even at Opal, I would still take, there are sapphires, not sapphires, there'd be like amethyst and rubies I would take over both of these cards. So not a fan of either of them. Then we've got Jaren Jackson Jr. versus Blake Griffin, and this is a tough matchup right here. So on the one hand, you've got Blake Griffin, who's better at going to the basket and dunking. I think they're even shooting wise. Both of them, I think, are really good shooters, but neither of them have range extender. And then you've got Jaren Jackson, who's a significantly better defender. Better shot blocker, although he doesn't have the strength necessarily to guard with big men inside, whereas Blake is a little bit better at that. Jackson has pogo, so you can just spam triangle. And I'm guessing Blake may have it as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I know for a fact Jackson does, and it's very noticeable on him. And also Jackson has got clamps, so if you want to play him at the power forward position, you can. He'll lock people down, has a little bit more length. This is a really, really close one, but I'm going to give the edge to Jaren Jackson Jr. And unlike the last one, this is not a close matchup at all. You've got Bob Love, who actually can guard a couple of people. Like, he plays defense, but he plays no offense. Like, Bob Love, even upgraded to Pink Diamond, really good defender, plays no offense. And you've got Amare. So you're not Amare, you got LaMarcus Aldridge. Aldridge, while he may not be an out-and-out big man, so he may not be an out-and-out defender, he's a decent big man defender, not going to be really defending people on the perimeter, but he is an out-and-out big man. You play him at center. Do not play Aldridge at power forward. Either way, though, Aldridge gets to win. Unreal release, Hall of Fame range extender, unbelievable shooter, unreal on the post, good shot blocker, not that slow. Aldridge gets a win there. So now is a battle between Serge Ibaka Opal and Amare Stoudemire Pink Diamond. Honestly, again, I would take offensively Amare, definitely offensively Amare, definitely defensively Serge Ibaka. So this is a really close one. I'm trying to think who I would rather have on my team. I would rather have, I think I'd rather have Amare. because he's a good floor spacer and he's good in the pick and pop. So Mario Stoudemire gets the win right there. Then we have got the other semi-final, Jaren Jackson Jr. versus LaMarcus Aldridge. Let's be real, this is the real final. So you've got Jackson Jr., who's a slightly better off defensive player. You've got Aldridge, who's way better in the post and shoots the ball way better. Speed-wise, they're kind of even. I think Jackson's a little bit faster, but Jackson has got clamps. So this is just purely preference. Like, these are both exceptional cards. And the one reason I'm putting through this guy is because there's one guy here that can play power forward and center, and one that can't play power forward. So, well, you can play LaMarcus Aldridge power forward, you're just going to really struggle. But you can play Jaren Jackson either because of his clamps and his perimeter defense. That I think that gives him the slight edge, because I think post-game Aldridge has the advantage. Post-defense, I think just length-wise, I prefer Jackson. Shooting-wise, Aldridge has the advantage. Speed-wise, Jackson has the advantage. I just think the fact that he's a little more versatile, versatility is the difference in this. And then you've got Amari versus slightly better Amari. Jaren Jackson Jr. wins this. No question about it. Like, they play a very similar style. They're both the same height. Jackson Jr. I think just has a little more length, can guard people on the perimeter, and is a slightly better shooter. So in a close matchup, the winner is Jaren Jackson Jr. So that is our first semi-final, Jaren Jackson Jr. versus Giannis. And now we are on to the budget cards. To the budget cards right here. So first matchup is Kristaps Porzingis versus Christian Laettner. Yeah, there is a couple of not great cards that have made the budget tier for power forwards. But Porzingis is 7'3", actually has a decent release even without quick draw. Laettner shoots the ball well, is super slow though. Like, you cannot play Laettner at power forward. To be fair, you wouldn't want to play Kristaps either. But at the same time, it's like, would you rather have a 7'3" player with worse stats, or a 6'11" player who's actually got a little bit of post scoring ability and can block a couple of shots? This is a close one again, because Laettner's lateral quickness is so bad. You know what, just purely price wise, I'll put in Porzingis. And the other Porzingis the same, the new Series 2 one, they're almost the same card. So whichever is cheaper, you should probably pick up. This is a much tougher matchup. You've got AC Green versus Jeff Green. So AC Green sometimes around 3-4 KMT, sometimes cheaper. AC Green's actually got really good stats defensively, but he's got no clamps, which is a little bit annoying. Jeff Green, however, is just next level good. I'm telling you, he is next level good. Like, he is the budget Giannis. And saying that, that's probably going to be my next video. But Jeff Green shoots the lights out. He's got, well, he shoots the lights out when he's open from normal range, not from limitless. He's got Hall of Fame quick first step. Also, he's got clamps, a good enough interior and perimeter defender. Yeah, he's just a way better version of AC Green. And Jeff Green goes through there. So now we got Luke Walton versus Zion Williamson. So this is the non-range extender Zion. Zion has got no post game either, but he's got like back down punisher, but he can't really finish in the post. Whereas Luke Walton's kind of a jack of all trades type player. No range extender, but he can kind of do everything. He can play a little bit of defense, not great defender though. Play a little bit in the post, but not great. Can play a little bit of interior defense, rebound okay. I'm going to give the slight nod to Luke Walton here, just because again, he is a little bit taller. And I prefer his release to Zion's. I think Luke Walton is one of the best releases in the game. And I'm telling you, if they do give out an Amethyst Luke Walton with clamps and range extender, that card is going to be legit. So I'm going to put him through. Then we have got Charles Oakley versus Ben Simmons. And man, I love Charles Oakley. I'm saying that right now. I'm a massive fan of using Charles Oakley, because I don't know why. Maybe it's his Hall of Fame defensive leader, his Hall of Fame intimidator, but I just tend to play better when he's on the floor. Saying that, he's not Ben Simmons. Like Ben Simmons, again, he's a lockdown defender. He can dominate, and especially if you guys are just starting out the game, he can be your best player, and he will be absolutely fantastic. Then we have got the semi-final matchup, Porzingis versus Jeff Green. This is an easy one. It's a very, very easy one. Jeff Green goes through. And his next matchup, Ben Simmons versus Luke Walton. Even though Walton's a better shooter, this is a very, very easy matchup. Simmons goes through. And now we are on to the matchup where this is a lot more of a conversation than people realize. So in terms of going by people and going to the basket, I put these guys dead even. I put them even. I put Jeff Green and Simmons even on defense as well. The difference is that Ben Simmons has got Hall of Fame dimer and stuff, and I think he's a Hall of Fame floor general as well, so he's an elite passer, whereas Jeff Green isn't really. But Jeff Green can shoot the ball really well when he's open. So it all depends on what you want, whether it's passing or whether you want someone that can hit an open jump shot. And for me, there is one big problem with Ben Simmons, and it's that you have to have him on the ball. You cannot play Ben Simmons off the ball. If you play Ben Simmons off the ball, it's a problem. And the difference is that this one cannot play point guard. Whereas Jeff Green, I prefer having him on the ball. I think on the ball, he's not even that much worse than Simmons in terms of going to the basket. But the fact that you can play Jeff Green off the ball and he can hit that open jumper, so they have to play him honest, means Jeff Green actually gets the win over Diamond Ben Simmons. Yeah, that's the decision I made. So now we are on to the shooters. Kristaps Porzingis versus Dirk Nowitzki. Again, this is another one where it's like Kristaps does everything better than Dirk. He's taller, he's faster, he's got a better block, much better release. Yeah, sure, he doesn't have Hall of Fame range extender, but gold is still great, and Porzingis is definitely better than Dirk. Then we got Kawhi versus Marcus Morris. You've got Kawhi versus poor man's Kawhi, pretty much. Well, poorer man's Kawhi. Poor man's Kawhi is probably like Miles Bridges or something. But Marcus Morris is a decent defender, a good shooter, good enough release, got range extender, and one of the best budget cards in the game for a while. Kind of goes up, he's gone up a little bit in price. Sometimes he's up, sometimes he's down, depending on the market crash. But I think right now he's up a little bit, so I kept him a little bit off the budget tier. But there's no question about it. Kawhi Leonard's going through there. Then we've got Larry Bird versus Antoine Walker. And there's another one where I just want to say I really do like Walker. Walker, when he's up at Pink Diamond, is fantastic. He can guard people really well. He's got a really nice release. He's got range extender, but he's just a slight bit worse at everything than Larry Bird. Larry Bird is an unreal card. I don't know what, like previous years, Larry Bird has always been terrible in 2K. I don't know what 2K has done this year, but this Larry's a god. I'm guessing Opal Larry Bird is going to be insane as well. Then we have got Rashard Lewis versus Bob Pettit. So we've got two non-clamps players. We've got one that is range extender, Rashard Lewis, and I think Pettit has probably got the better release. Pettit's got quick first step and is actually a good dunker. So it's like, do I give up range extender for dunking? Which one would I prefer? And to be honest, I think that Bob Pettit will be able to hold his own a little bit better than Rashard Lewis. Not the biggest fan of either of the cards, but I think that he's a little bit better. And we got Kristaps Porzingis versus Kawhi Leonard. So this is not an easy matchup, as these are two completely opposite cards. To be honest, had I brought in, had I put Kristaps Porzingis in this tier list right here, he'd probably be coming out with the win. But Kawhi Leonard, like again, Kawhi would have probably made the small forward matchup as well. So yeah, Hall of Fame quick draw versus I think gold quick draw. Porzingis is definitely the better post player. Kawhi is the much better defender. Kawhi can play both the positions on his card, whereas Porzingis is going to really struggle at power forward. And for anyone saying Porzingis is great at power forward, just watch me playing as Uric 11 or Uric 111, one of the best players in Europe. I torched him with Giannis, and I think that's even run like a Simmons or something will torch Kristaps. So just in terms of like usability, like I currently don't have Kristaps on my team, and I do have Kawhi on my team, so Kawhi goes in. But these guys are so opposite that it's hard to compare them. Like they are completely opposite players. I just got to put this on who I would prefer in my squad, and it's Kawhi. Then we have got Larry Bird versus Bob Pettit. In a very comfortable one, it's Larry Bird. I don't really like Pettit. I'm just going to say that straight up. I am not a fan of Bob Pettit, and I also think that Larry Bird's fantastic. So now, again, a really tough matchup. We've actually got two similar cards matching up in the final, so this is actually going to be a close one. So in terms of pure catch and shoot release, I think it's even. I actually prefer Kawhi with gold quick draw than Kawhi with Hall of Fame quick draw. That's just preference, but I prefer the 97 overall Kawhi in terms of shooting. But this Kawhi obviously got Hall of Fame quick first step and Hall of Fame range extender. Larry Bird's not as good at going to the basket as this Kawhi, but Larry Bird's got the glitchy fadeaway animation. Both of them are elite defenders. You've got 2 extra inches height-wise for Larry Bird over Kawhi Leonard. And both of them play power forward / small forward, so you can't even give Kawhi the advantage of being able to play at the 2. So this is a matchup where, again, it is purely personal preference. And if I was to run one of these at power forward, I would obviously run Larry Bird at power forward. At small forward, I think I would take Kawhi. Oh, I don't know who I'm going to put through. I really don't know. let's just go price-wise, Larry. Larry's cheaper. If in doubt, pick the cheaper player. They're both even, so we're going to pick the cheaper player. And we have got, now we're down to 4. The final 4, the slashing champion, Giannis. The big man champion, Jaren Jackson Jr. The budget champion, Jeff Green. And the shooting champion, Larry Bird. So now we are on to the first semi, Jaren Jackson versus Giannis. And honestly, there is nothing really except maybe hitting shots wide open. Jaren Jackson is better. I think even post defense, Giannis is better. So in a very, very comfortable one, Giannis gets the win. In this one right here, we have got cheap Giannis versus Larry Bird. And while I do think Jeff Green is better at going to the basket, I think Larry Bird is better at pretty much everything else. Who would I really do like Jeff Green, but he's just a little bit overmatched in this semi-final. So now it's a final between Larry Bird and Giannis. And again, just like the Giannis versus Aaron Gordon matchup, this is not a straightforward one, because Larry is so much better at shooting and Giannis is so much better at attacking the basket. So it all depends on what you're looking for, to be completely honest. And there is certain situations where I would much rather have one of these than the other, the one that's going to lose. Like, depending on who you have around them. For example, if you are set on running Ben Simmons a point guard, you'd want Larry. I'd much rather use Larry Bird than Giannis, because you can't have Ben Simmons and Giannis on the same time. However, if you guys are surrounding the team with a bunch of shooters, I would take Giannis. So it all depends on the situation you're in for this matchup. But let's be real, Giannis is Giannis. So Giannis is getting the win here. And Pink Diamond Giannis is the exact same as Opal Giannis, or is 98 overall Diamond Giannis. Pink Diamond Giannis. I don't think there's any difference. I know one of them is Hall of Fame Diamond, the other is Gold, not a big deal. So Pink Diamond 96 overall Giannis would be in the same position here. But it's a close one, and it all depends on what type of a team you have. If you've got a bunch of slashers on your team and you've just your power forward left, take Larry. If you've got a bunch of shooters and you need a slasher, take Giannis. But I think for most people anyway, it's not that common you see Simmons a point guard. And to be honest, for me anyway, like for the fact that I use the likes of Chauncey Billups and stuff at the point, pure shooters, and I use shooters everywhere, Giannis is a perfect player. But anyway, yeah, that is the video. This is the power forward bracket. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.